All right, let's go to James in Savannah, Georgia to get us started today. James, you're on the Ken Coleman Show. Hello, James.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call. Can you hear me okay?
I can. What's going on, James?
Excellent. Well, I do have some good news. The good news is that a couple of months ago, I was appointed to a public office, in a local public office in the community that I live in, and it's in my sweet spot because it allows me to basically look at data and make decisions based on data.
Great.
And the bad news is that it is very much a part-time job that only has part-time pay, even though it has full-time commitment, but I may get to that in a minute. So I still need to have a full-time job. And basically the situation with my full-time job is where I am right now. There's a lot of drudgery there. I took your test and I took the test with my current day job in mind, and it was clear to me that while I'm in a good work environment, I'm not doing the work that I enjoy doing. Sure. So for that reason, when actually I started doing this before I got appointed to this public office, but I took a real estate class year. I got my real estate license earlier this year, and I hung it with a brokerage. And initially my plan was that I was going to go ahead and go full-time with it in real estate, so that way I would have a job that allowed me to adapt to the needs of being in a local public office. That is a big time commitment, even though the pay is very, very much part-time. Well, my parents called me, and a little bit of background, I'm 37 years old, so I make my own decisions. But, of course, whenever my parents called me, they really pushed me in a corner and made me feel bad about, James, how dare you leave a stable day job, and because security, what happens if you don't make it as a realtor, yada, yada. So all that to say, at this point, I feel really boxed in because on one hand, I like where I am with this elected official job, but I want to fix the day job, and I found a fix to the day job through real estate, but my parents kind of belittled me and pushed me out of doing that. The other issue I have going on, Ken, is I used to be a data analyst for local government, so I was the guy who would write the reports and perform the analysis that elected officials would review and make decisions based on my work. So I'm sure you can see the connection between that and that elected office job. But, of course, all my old jobs, as I've had to tell my parents several times over, they're now conflicts of interest because with this particular government board I serve on right now as an elected official, it's a conflict of interest for me to hold any local office. But let's say I wanted to later on run for city council or something along those lines, I'd run into the same snag of the work that was in my sweet spot is now going to be a conflict of interest. So that's all right.
This is not as confusing as you think it is. Well, we got some layers of the onion here, and I'm going to try to identify this pretty quickly.
Okay.
What is it that you ultimately want to do? Do you want to move your way up the ladder in data analyst work in the public side of things or in the corporate side of things? Or do you want to be an elected official? Because I've heard all I need to hear. The question is, what's the top of the mountain for you?
Well, the top of the mountain would be to hold elected office.
That's what I thought.
And the other
wait. Stop.
Yeah.
Come on, James. You're talking too much, man. You're thinking too much. No more buts in this conversation. The top of the mountain for you is to run for elected office.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you're already in a local elected position, but you've got higher sights, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what is it? Let's name it. Be specific. Well, give me a couple of dream political offices that you would love to hold down the road.
Well, down the road, I would love to be a state representative.
Okay, great. That's a part-time job anyway.
Yes, sir. And that seems to be what I come back to is I am especially passionate about.
Hold on. I got it. You like real estate, don't you?
Yes,
I didn't say you love it. I didn't say you love it, but you like it.
Yes, sir.
And the reason you like it is because why? Tell me. Give me. And I need the 20-second version. No more. Go. Why do you like real estate?
It enables me to be a better local elected official.
Okay, great. Because you also love people too.
That's right.
Okay. And the other reason you like it as an idea is because it's going to give you some flexibility once you get up and running.
Absolutely, because I know that my dream jobs are ultimately part-time jobs.
Exactly. So the asterisk is once you get up and running. So up and running means, okay, once I can take care of my bills. So is it just you, or do you have a family that you are providing for?
It's just me at home.
Okay, so what do you need to make to basically just make ends meet?
I would say in the 40,000s, which is a little bit more than where I am right now.
Okay, and so that's what, and so are you getting part-time pay with this data analyst job for the government, or no?
You mean for the office I hold?
Yes,
I am getting part-time pay.
Okay, so how much of the 40 is that?
It's just a really small amount. This particular office.
Well, let's call it. We'll call it
yeah.
nothing. Okay, because I don't want you to give that information. Okay, I get it. All right, I'm not trying to get you to divulge stuff that but my point is you got to replace the 40,000.
Right.
And you're assuming that real estate's the only way to do that. But you love the data analyst type of work. That's what you're doing in this elect. So why can't you do that in the private sector as your day job? And then you do the elected official stuff. So it's a corporate. So I don't think it's a conflict of interest. If you're doing data analyst work for another company in Savannah, and then you hold this elected official and you're making 40 or more, then you don't have to ramp up and kind of put yourself in a position with real estate that you're going to have to really hustle to be able to make that kind of money in the first 6 months. Right?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's
so why
correct.
can't you do data analyst work, which is in your sweet spot in the corporate world, and you hold this other position? Am I missing something?
I think the biggest concern I have with that, Ken, is because Savannah is a smaller city. There's fewer data analyst opportunities to go around than, say, if I was in a bigger city.
Do you have facts? Do you have facts to back that up?
Just cursory glances and cursory scans. Nothing.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Here's my point. Whether it's data analyst work or something in that, you love working with numbers and analyzing and crunching numbers. I mean, how many different positions are there that are similar to data analyst? In Savannah, there's plenty. You're acting like Savannah's a town of 500 people. I just don't buy that. I don't buy it at all. So I don't care what you do for a day job. If you think that you can make it work as a real estate agent and you plan for that financially, so you sock some money away and you cut, and you sell everything that you can sell, and you build up a 6-month, what I would call a floating fund to get your real estate up and going before you sell a house or 2 or 3, because you got to go all in on real estate to win.
Yep, absolutely.
So the question is, how many hours a week are you going to be able to give real estate if you run this local position? But that's a good move. And I tell the parents to go pound sand. Love you, mom and dad. I really don't care what you think, because I'm a grown blank, you know what, man.
Right.
I mean, who cares what mom and dad think? How old are you?
I'm 37.
Are you a grown? Wait. Are you a grown man or not?
I am.
Tell mom and dad thanks, but no thanks. You all enjoy yourself at the Piccadilly Cafeteria every Tuesday, Thursday night. I'm going to make my own decisions. I got to tell you, you're 37. I don't care what mom and dad think, and I know you love them and you respect them, and I respect them. But I respectfully would tell mom and dad, if they're on the phone, it's not your call anymore. You don't get a vote. I hope you're going to have a stronger spine when you run for office and when you get elected than worrying about what mom and dad think. Because if you're letting mom and dad hold your dream up, which you are, God forbid what you're going to let a couple disgruntled letter writers do when you get elected, because they're out there.
Right. Yeah, James? It just is a different dynamic when it's family involved.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Family.
No, it isn't. It is not. Because you are. I understand they're your mom and dad, and they hold more weight than a constituent, but that's not the issue. You're allowing them to discourage you and take you off the path that you want to go on. And I think it's a fine path. So you decide, James. I'm on your team. I'm on Team James. And James needs to tell his mom and dad, thanks, but no thanks. And that's all I've got to say on that. There's nothing more to say. You got to do it. 37-year-old man who's got a good plan, because I heard a good plan. I added to the plan. I gave you some other options. But this has nothing to do with your plan or my plan. This has everything to do with your mom and dad are scared that you're going to hurt yourself financially and you're going to become homeless and live under a bridge if you leave your stable job. Well, sorry, mom and dad, I got dreams. I think you raised me to do that. If parents don't have boundaries, adults, you need to create the boundary. And they've got no boundaries. So you need to create it, James. That's just that simple. I'm not anti his parents. But folks, I wish I could say it on the air. Joe, you know what I want to say. He's a grown man. Come on. Do you run your grocery list by him too? Do you go home and go, hey, I'm thinking about asking this gal out at work. You want to check her out on LinkedIn and Facebook and tell me what you think? Joe, I don't know why you're laughing so hard back there. Either I'm right or I'm not.
Oh, you're right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Joe, what if your mom told you not to move to Atlanta? To Nashville. She's like, Joe, you got a really good job at WDUN. You and Debbie have lived in Gainesville for X amount of years. You shouldn't go up there and work for that guy. You don't know if he's going to make it. What would you say to that, Joe?
Mom, I love you, but hey, I've already packed my bags.
Yeah.
I've charted a course. It's done.
Thanks, Mom. You know what you ought to do? These adults that are having, these parents having boundary issues, you ought to flip it on them. Next time they do that to you, go like this, very respectfully, okay? I don't think you should leave that job. I think it's crazy. I think you've lost your mind. And if you do this, we are going to be so disappointed because this is just crazy risky. You should go, okay, all right, okay, that's what you think? Yeah, that's what we think. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I think you guys should stop eating TV dinners and watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune every night. You guys should actually get out and walk because you've put on too much weight. And I'm concerned that you're going to die early because you're not healthy. That's what I think. Try that one on. Could you? Now, you guys are like, oh, boy. Wait a second, Ken. That's a little. Is it? Isn't it the same thing? Okay, good call. You told me how I should live my life. I'm going to tell you how I think you should live your life. And by the way, Dad, stop wearing the Velcro white tennis shoes. You look like a clown. Too much, Trevor? Little too much? You think that's too much? You don't have Velcro white shoes on. If you did, I'd be the guy to tell you, by the way, because I love you that much. But anyway, folks, try it on. Try it on. I mean, look, if people are going to overstep their boundaries, then try it back on for size. And here's what I'm saying. Some of you aren't willing to have that sticky conversation, Joe. I know. But that would put a nip in that deal. That would nip that in the bud. It'd be like, oh, okay. But we love our parents because we're good people. And I appreciate that. We respect our parents. I appreciate that. But you're a grown man. All right, I've beat that horse completely to a pulp, but it needs to be said. It needs to be said.